Hello everyone, this is Leo and welcome back to another Layman's Financing video. Today's going to be a quick video on 3 easy ways that you can increase your credit score. Number 1, set your cards to automatically pay the full statement balance every single month. Note I said statement balance and not full balance. If you're in the position to do this, it allows you to not accrue any interest on your credit card balances, but still keep a small balance that's reported to the credit card bureaus. If you watch my other video on how FICO credit scoring model works, or most credit scoring model systems work, some of it is based on what percentage of your credit cards you're using, or your available credit cards you're utilizing. By only paying the statement balance and not the full balance, you're still showing that you're using the card, so you have higher than a 0%, but not quite as high as a 10% or a 20% where it starts negatively affecting your score. The good thing about doing this is that you can still do this and still not pay interest. Most credit cards have something called a grace period, where if you make the payment on the charges before a certain time period, there is no interest on those charges. Typically this is 30 days or usually the cycle of the statement. I also say to pay the card automatically. This way you don't ever have a chance of missing that payment. I like to think of my credit cards as essentially just debit cards. I'm not purchasing anything that I wouldn't normally be able to afford just out-of-pocket cash. I'm strictly using the credit cards as a vehicle to make that purchase, have a delayed payment on it, while also reaping the rewards like 5% cash back or whatever the case is, credit card miles, whatever it is. Number 2, always ask for increases in the credit limits on your cards. The initial credit line that's offered to you by your credit card company is not the maximum that you're ever going to get. You can always ask for more. Maybe when you initially got the card, your credit wasn't the best, your 600 credit score, but now maybe you're creeping into the 680, 690, 700, 750, something like that. Make sure to leverage that score and ask for a higher limit on your credit cards. By doing so, you help ensure that the overall credit card utilization goes down, which helps improve your credit score. Again, you want your overall usage of your credit cards to be less than 10% month to month. If you simply increase your credit card limits on your cards, it therefore makes it more difficult to hit that 10%, which is perfect because you want it always under that 10% threshold. Most credit card companies, at least the ones that I have, and I have a lot of them, have some type of online tool that will allow you to request a credit card increase. Usually these are very clear if they're going to do something called a hard pull, which is actually a ding on your credit, or a soft pull, where they're not going to actually pull a full credit report on you, so it won't show up as an inquiry. If it's not an automatic system, you can also just email in, you can use chat, or you can just give them a call. Just make sure when you're talking to the rep or whoever you're dealing with at the credit card company, you ask them if this is going to be a hard pull or not. They'll understand the terminology and they will let you know if it requires a hard pull or not. Certain credit cards, if you ask for too much of an increase, so say you're at $5,000 and you want to get to $25,000, sometimes that does require a hard pull. It's really up to you if it warrants that and if you want to have the inquiry on your account. Most credit card companies, you can get away with doing this about every 6 months or so. I was able to get my initial, I think, $8,000 credit limit for like a Discover card and an American Express card, all the way up to about $45,000, $50,000, just by doing this every 6 months or so. And again, the higher it is, generally the better, because if you continue to use that card month to month like I do, my overall utilization is way lower when I have a higher credit limit on each of those cards. Lastly, number 3, and this is a bit of a cop-out, you can simply just wait. One of the largest factors in determining your credit score, again, if you watch my video on the subject, is the amount of time that you've had open credit and good credit history. If you change your payments to automatic online payments so you don't miss a payment, if you do the second tip and you increase the credit card limits on all of your credit cards, just by waiting, 1 year, 2 years, whatever it is, always asking for those limits increases, that kind of thing, your credit score will go up, just from you utilizing those cards and becoming a trustworthy buyer or a trustworthy user of credit. I've personally went from 710, 720 to now over 805 just by doing this. It did take a few years just because, again, a lot of it just has to do with waiting. But unfortunately, when you're playing the credit card game, patience is key. And those are the simplest 3 ways you can increase your credit score. Thank you for watching. Hope you found this video useful or educational. If you have, please consider subscribing and make sure you hit that like button and the notification bell so you can get notified of my future videos.